Hey guys, before I get started, I do want to say hello. Good to see you guys on here. Thanks so much for watching. As always, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps out a lot, and I'm excited to get more of a community going. But with that, let's get started. Today, I'm really excited to do a review for you guys, and this is a review of the Neo Geo Mini International. Now, I got this for my son Christian for Christmas, and because he was obsessed with our MVSX cabinet here at my office. And so I thought, man, what better way to encourage my son in retro gaming than to get him this Mini International, which is only $65.99 right now on Amazon. And to get all of the games that it comes with 40 games. I'm going to go through these games. It was a no-brainer for me to get these for him. But I do apologize. It's been a really long time. In September, I got sick. Then I got sick again. Then I went into the hospital. Then I got a fungal infection in my lung because I've had 3 transplants and it's eaten a third of my lung. So if I'm short of breath, I apologize. But there's just a lot of stuff going on. In October, I got sick. In November, I got sick. December, I've been sick. So it's been an ordeal. But I've still been able to play a few retro games, and I'm super excited about the arcades. But today I really want to encourage you guys to at least consider this Mini International from Neo Geo. It's incredible. Like, domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Like, thank you Japan for putting this out because it's incredible. SNK is an incredible organization to still put this out for us to have and enjoy. So these 40 games, let's go through them real quick and then we'll get to the specs. Excuse me, we'll get to the specs of the actual game, the cartridge itself, okay? So let's go through these. Okay, first, there are 10 King of Fighter games. King of Fighters 94, King of Fighters 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, and 2003. Now, if you look at these games as I'm kind of doing some gameplay right here, you'll notice that they get better progressively. The combos get crazier. And in 2003, they really, SNK was already in, I think, Chapter 11. So they were struggling. And as you look at these, they're still putting out incredible games when everybody and their mothers were putting out these 3D games. Now, these Neo Geo really capitalized on 2D fighting, especially when Super Street Fighter 2 came out. It was the only competition against that. I mean, Mortal Kombat 2 and 3 were great, but they just didn't move like these other games did. You didn't have the combos like these other games did. And so really King of Fighters really combined the Fatal Furies together with some of the King of Fighters. And it was just an incredible fighter game. And then you get into Samurai Showdown. Now Samurai Showdown is perhaps the most popular Neo Geo game, but this International, Mini International, comes with Samurai Showdown 2, Samurai Showdown 4, Samurai Showdown 5 Special. It also comes with Fatal Fury Special, Real Bout Fatal Fury, Real Bout Fatal Fury 2, and then it comes with Guru, Mark of the Wolves, World Heroes Perfect, Kizuna Encounter, Art of Fighting, The Last Blade 2, Ninja Masters, Aggressors of Dark Combat, and then one of my favorites is King of the Monsters 2. Then it goes into Cyberlip, Shock Troopers Second Squad, Top Hunter Rhodey and Cathy, Ninja Commando, Burning Fight. And then it gets into what we all love, which is Metal Slug. It goes Metal Slug 1, 2, and 3. Metal Slug 1, 2, and 3, I love the Metal Slugs. And this game is so great, and it plays seamlessly on the Mini Neo Geo. So you got those Metal Slugs, and then it goes right into Sengoku 3, Alpha Mission 2, Twinkle Star Sprites, Blazing Star, Top Players Golf, Super Sidekicks, and Puzzled. Now, if we could just stop for a second and think about all the games that these come with. Now, I wasn't a huge arcade guy in the mid-90s, but I know that Neo Geo was king. And to be able to get these games on a small little, almost a handheld, I mean, it's really small, and I'll show you in comparison so you can see. And it's got a 3.5-inch screen, LCD screen, and it's a beautiful screen. And it may think, oh, that's really tiny. It's actually not that small. But what's so great about this Mini International that I'll get into is that it comes with, or it doesn't come with, but you gotta have an HDMI cable and you can hook it up to your TV. And when you play it on your TV, you're looking up and you're seeing this. We have a 55-inch TV at our home, not that big. And it's a really old TV, but it still works perfectly and seamlessly, and there's really no lag on it, which I think is a beautiful thing. Now with this title of AES, Advanced Entertainment System, that is on this Mini International, it's a play on the NES, right, with the Nintendo Entertainment System, and when that was the king of the 80s. And then it goes into the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, which was really kind of the king of the 90s also, as far as home consoles. Neo Geo tried to put out a home console edition of the AES, and it was really for those who had really steep wallets, really full wallets, to be able to buy and purchase these games, because you're buying each game is about $400. And the actual arcades would actually have to buy the cartridges for the games and put them into, which was great about the Neo Geo cabinets. You would have the pictures above the Neo Geo arcade, and these cartridges would go into the actual arcade, and you can change out the games. And you could put 4 cartridges in each, I think it's 4, maybe it was 6, but I think it was 4 games that would come, and they were interchangeable for each cabinet, and it was great. So with this Mini Neo Geo International, as an AES, it comes with some incredibly powerful games. Like, to have King of Fighters 2003 on this little console thing is really phenomenal. So much power in your hand. This was beyond when I said, like when I've mentioned, it was beyond when I was playing arcades in 2000s, because I was actually usually go to the mall to get something for my wife. I would stop in and see a bunch of guys in the background playing still some of these 2D games, but most of the guys were around the 3D games, kind of like Killer Instinct when that was it, or some of the other games that were popular during that time. But I remember so many things about this as I would walk past, and perhaps if you're younger watching this, you'll see that, man, these games are incredible that they still offer on this Mini Neo Geo. Now, I know that I had mentioned that I was going to get Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but I ended up passing on that because it was too expensive, and I wanted to make sure that it was going to be any good. I didn't know if it was Wi-Fi compatible, and a lot of people are really kind of upset because it's not fully Wi-Fi. You can't play against other players because it's kind of too powerful for Arcade 1-Up and what they're putting out, and so you can only post your high scores. You can't necessarily play against other players. I haven't gotten any new Arcade 1-Up cabinets, but I hope to in the future, pretty soon, and get a review or two in there. I also have my eyes on the Mortal Kombat or the Killer Instinct cabinets that are kind of on sale. It was on sale for $2.99 actually, and I missed that for the Killer Instinct. Hopefully we'll have some sales again soon, but let me know if something comes up that is cheap. But a look at the mini cabinet. This is just a perfect small little, it's $65.99. For $65, for $66 on Amazon, you can get 40 Neo Geo games. And if you have, what's so great about this, and I'll show some pictures, is that on the side of the actual mini arcade, you can put 2 controllers you can plug the 2 controllers into the side, and you can play 1v1 with the King of Fighters. Just like I said, there's I think like 13 or 14, maybe, actually no, there's probably about 20 games where you're fighting against somebody. That's what made Neo Geo so popular, was these fighting games. And you can plug in a controller, and it's much easier. You don't have to do like the little, it's not that little, it's not like a My Arcade that you see on on Amazon. You can plug the controllers in and you can actually fight each other. But what I love is when you plug those controllers in and then you plug the HDMI into your TV, you're playing Neo Geo on a 55-inch screen. Like, just think about that. You're playing King of Fighters 2003. You're playing Samurai Showdown 2 or Samurai Showdown 4 on a 55-inch screen. That's crazy to me to think about. And I love the ability that this little powerful machine for $65.99 gives you. That it's just like, if you can't get the MVSX Neo Geo cabinet from SNK, the 3/4 scale, because you don't have the room, this is better. Like, it's so much better because you have those controllers and there's no lag. I was worried about the lag. If you have a nice or a simple HDMI cable that that flows perfectly from the electronics through the TV, you're not going to have any lag whatsoever. And that's what I think is so crazy about this. It's such a beautiful machine for $65.99. It is your own console of 40 Neo Geo cabinet games. Like, that's crazy to me. To be able to see and buy this for $65.99 and play any Neo Geo game that you want, or at least most of them. Now, it doesn't have some of them that I would really love, like the R-Type games, but it does have all of these fighter games on it that are just phenomenal. I mean, you can't get any cheaper than this, and it's really, for bang for your buck, this is just a phenomenal phenomenal technology that SNK gave us. Now the look of the mini cabinet is perfect too, right? A year ago, I got my two boys some of the My Arcades from Amazon, of Dig Dug and Pac-Man. I think I got them a Tetris, and those games weren't ported that well at all. Those games are the exact games that you'd get if you spent thousands of dollars on them. These ones are for the Neo Geo. Only the screen is a mini 3.5-inch display, perfect for that handheld. And what I'd love to see in the future is if they can somehow get an external power outside of plugging it in so that you can actually take it in the car. That would be so much fun too. But if I have a large SUV, they should have plugs in those. I don't have a large SUV. I don't know. My cars are almost 20 years old, so we don't have any of that technology in them. The leather's cracking and everything's going crazy in my cars. But for most, you can actually have a plug-in and you can still plug it in and play it in your car, which I think is pretty cool. You're going on a road trip and you're playing Samurai Showdown 2 against each other. That's pretty neat. And if you look at the comparison between this and some of the other small little arcades that are out right now, the games are not ported. Like my son, I got him at, it was probably $35, $40 for the Dig Dug, and it looks cool on the outside, and it's small. It's actually a little bit smaller. It doesn't have as big of a screen, and as you look at it, the game isn't the same as the one I have for my Arcade 1-Up cabinet. So I look at the Dig Dug and I was super excited to get him this small little thing, and it just wasn't the same game. The guys were quicker, right? The Feigies or a Feigar, excuse me, or just the little characters would run and get you, and you couldn't do the same thing, so you couldn't really learn the exact same arcade game. You couldn't get the strategy down. You just basically, it's just chaos for that because it's so much quicker. And the same thing with Pac-Man, it didn't do that well, and Tetris is just a little clunky. But for these, it is the exact game. It's ported beautifully into the Neo Geo cabinet. Like, that is just, my hat's off to you guys to be able to look at this game, this cabinet, this little mini international, and see how beautiful these games are. You'll get blown away, I guarantee you. Okay, what's great about this mini Neo Geo, and I've said this name a few times, I'm gonna open up the box. It comes like this in one of these things. So it's obviously not that big. But what's great about this game is that you can actually save the progress of your game. And that's pretty significant, I think. I'll show you the controller first. This is the controller. It's all wrapped up. So the controller looks like this, and you usually can get it for around $22 to $30. And the controller's great. It's just got 4 buttons, start, select, and here is the actual game, the Mini Geo. So you can see it's handheld. The screen is great. It's only, and you obviously can't power it on because you need to have it plugged in. That's the only bummer part, but my son already put some stickers on it. Now the Japanese version is a little red. It's red down here. There's a so it's a little bit more like a Neo Geo cabinet because Neo Geos were classic because they were fully red. But this is great. Now, as I've mentioned, we can hook this up with an HDMI cable up to our TV. That's great. That's phenomenal. We love doing that. But I have a few pictures of the Japanese version, but our version is all blue and white. It still looks amazing. Amazon version, like I said, comes with stickers to decorate the mini cabinet. You actually can get a package deal, I think, for $80 that includes an HDMI cable and a controller. Now, I was wondering again about the lag on the TV. There is no lag when you hook them up, and that's beautiful because you want to be able to I got to beat my son. I mean, he's 10. I got to show him that dad still is the king, right? I'm kidding. No, but it's a fun game. There is, let's see. So there is a difference in the actual MVSX on the SNK big cabinet compared to the Mini International. And the big difference that I've seen when you're fighting in the fighting games is there's no blood. There's no red gore that comes out when you're fighting, especially with Samurai Showdown. What comes out is like this alien blood. It's green. And that might be a little bit jarring for people that may be like, oh, no way. But it's not like NFL Blitz that Arcade 1-Up just put out. NFL Blitz really changed because you don't get the late hits, which made the game so much fun. And that's why I actually ended up not getting NFL Blitz as an arcade cabinet, because that late hits factor was just, that was where you did all the trash talking. That's where you just like boom and you just nail them afterwards, and the commentator would be going crazy, and it was just so much fun about NFL Blitz because you're blitzing and it's going crazy. Samurai Showdown, the only thing they don't have is they turn the red blood into green, right? This green goo that comes out. And you're like, why did Japan do that? I don't know, but it's still great. It doesn't change the actual play at all. It doesn't change any combos. The only thing is it just changes the red to green. They wanted to make it maybe more family friendly, more kid friendly, because they knew that kids were going to be getting this maybe more. They wanted to try to but they wanted to try to reach out to a younger generation. And that's what I love about SNK right now. And that's what I kind of want to end on. So ending on this, when we brought this mini international to a little vacation that we did out in a place that's close to where we live, it's about 2 hours away, and my wife's family met us out there for New Year's. And as we're out there, my son brought his mini international to play because we're with family and sometimes he gets bored. And my father-in-law, who's 73, said, "Hey Christian, what is this?" And as he held it up, he's like, "This seems like really small." And then I showed him where Top Golf was because we were playing golf earlier that morning. And he literally played that for hours in the midst of watching two of the greatest football games I've ever seen, right? The college football playoffs, which were phenomenal. If you've seen them or if you watch them, they were just incredible to watch. I won't go off on those. But it was just neck and neck for each game. They were phenomenal. But in the midst of those games, he was still playing Top Golf on this Neo Geo. In fact, he loved the mini Neo Geo so much that he ended up buying it right then and there and is sending to his house because he wants to have Top Golf. He wants to be able to play it. Now he's 73. So does this mini international have staying power? Well, my 10-year-old is playing it. My 73-year-old father-in-law is playing it. He loves it. I love it. I love to play it. And I'm 43 or 44. I guess I'm getting older now. And it's amazing to see all these generations of people enjoying this Neo Geo Mini International because it's handheld. You can bring it anywhere. You can hook it up anywhere. And it's incredible to be able to play. Like, that says something to me that a 73-year-old man who also, he's young at heart. Don't get me wrong. He's very spry. Doesn't even seem like he's 73. He looks like he's 60. But to see him excited about this, to see my son, who's 10, excited about this, and to have me be excited knowing how much money we're saving, $65.99, and 40 games, which each of those games would be about $40. If you did the math, we're looking at like $16,000 that you would have to spend on all these games, on top of the actual big cabinets. You're saving a significant amount of money. This, to me, is the best deal in all of arcades right now, is this mini international Neo Geo cabinet. Yeah, you see all of these wonderful things popping up. You see arcade 1-ups in different random places. They had it in my father-in-law's hotel or VRBO that they had rented in the area that they were at, and they had a golden tee in the corner. And I thought that was great to see that. They had the arcades in this hotel, the Quinta Hotel, which is not where we were staying at, but we visit sometimes because it's a really cool place. There's a great restaurant there called Adobe Grill. You eat outside with heating. It's cold out there, but we had a great time. And in the hotel, they actually have this room that's dedicated. It's called like the rec room. And they had a multi-cade. They had a Pandora's box, but it was a stand-up arcade. They had 2 racing games, and those racing games were what everybody was trying to go to. They had Tokyo Drift, and they had another one. I forget what it was, but it was, side by side. You want to be able to fight. And my son's like, "Can we get a racing game besides the Outrun cabinet that I have?" Because he likes that, but he wants to race against somebody else. My 16-year-old, my 15/16-year-old, he's turning 16 this month. I would love to see Arcade 1-Up put something like that out. And what I'm worried about Arcade 1-Up is what I just found out about John D. is they aren't going to be putting out that many new cabinets because people have kind of gotten saturated. They've gotten oversaturated. These big stores like Best Buy or Target or Walmart that are selling Arcade 1-Up, people aren't purchasing them like they thought they would, but they still are purchasing the Pac-Mans and the Galaga cabinets. So we're probably going to see some pro versions of those. We're probably going to see some more releases of those. But I don't know if they're going to put out too much new stuff, which is a bummer for us who love these arcades and want all the different ones. But SNK, you go back to that. They put out a mini Neo Geo International with 40 games on it, and you don't really need anything else. It's crazy what they have accomplished. Why would you want to buy this cabinet for $65.99? Because you get 40 games that are incredible. And it does create that nostalgia, especially if you were growing up in the 90s, the mid 90s, probably about 10 years younger than me. You'd probably be about 34, 35, and you just loved those games. That was everything to you. In fact, I have a bunch of people here at the church who love my Neo Geo cabinet up here, the MVSX SNK. They love that because that's what they remember. That's their nostalgia, mid 90s. For me, it's more of the late 80s games that I love, early 90s, probably about 6 or 7 years before they started playing. I love those cabinets and I'm still going to love those cabinets. So this one doesn't necessarily hold the nostalgia for me, but it does create that retro feel for my kids. And for me, my hat's off to SNK. Thank you so much for putting this out. So I hope that this review would encourage you to at least consider it. It is phenomenal, and the games that they have, the display is beautiful. The colors are all light. I mean, it really is an incredible game, and I hope that you at least consider it after this review. Now, the reason why I've done this mini international Neo Geo cabinet is really because we just love it, and I think you will too. So give it a try. Let me know what you think. As always, please like and subscribe to this video, and we'll see you guys soon on the next time. So hopefully I'll make one and I won't get sick again, and maybe after this season of sickness I'll be able to put out some more. But until then, I hope you guys continue to be blessed and know how fortunate we are to live in the day and age when we can bring these arcades home. All right, you guys, take care and God bless. We'll see you.
Pop Rock!